Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, please write in the comments section and I will try to update my microphone, but it looks like it's working. So today what we're going to do is we are going to try to build an app on top of this data set right here, right? We see this data set with from week 44 on Figure Friday. Let me see if our community on Discord is joining us. 1 second. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so we see this data set, week 44. It's Billboard Hot 100 data set. If I click on this, it will take us here. And it's actually, let me put this link in the description in case you don't have it. I'll put it in the chat here in the comments. Perfect. All right, so we now have it. Okay, so this is the data set, and here we have a sample app, or at least two figures on top of this data set, right? We have a bar chart and a violin plot and a tree map that breaks down the data. But let's look at the data first. Okay, so we're going to go here. Let's go to this data. We can click on this. First of all, this data is from Chris Dalla Riva that built it. It's on a Google, and we can even open this, so make even more sense. So this is the data set. And you got some references here, tab, or README tab, and then we have the data tab. Now what I did is I only used this tab for the data set, and I turned this into a CSV file, right? So here we have songs, right, from the top 500 from top 100 from 1958. We have a song called "Poor Little Fool" by Ricky Nelson in 1958, August 4th. And then we have the weeks at number 1. It was 2 weeks on the top number 1. We see this song, Nell Blue DePinto, for 5 weeks, top number 1, and so on and so on and so on. Here, this one, 1959, was 9 weeks number 1, Mac the Knife. Of course, I haven't heard of these songs because they are from 1959, a little bit before I was born. And then we have ratings. Ratings 1, 2, 3, overall rating, divisiveness, label, parent label, and so on and so on and so on. There's many columns in here. If there's a column you don't really understand, I added the data. There is the data dictionary here. And again, remember, this is the link to reach the data dictionary right here. This Billboard Hot references, and then go here and you'll see the data dictionary inside this Google sheet that Chris created. Because I just downloaded the CSV sheet raw from this tab right here, the data tab. Okay, so data dictionary. Let's see. For example, what does rating 1, 2, and 3 mean? Rating between 1 and 10. They're all rating between 1 and 10, but there are different judges, provided judge 1, judge 2, and judge 3, right? So this is, I guess, just like eventually we'll have like an average. Here we go. Rating 4, 5, and 3 by 3 judges. And so the overall, rating, the average is 4, because 4 plus 5 plus 3 is 12, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. And so you have the overall rating, divisiveness, and so on and so on. The genre. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the CSV sheet. If we go here, you will see the raw. We'll actually do download. And once we download this file, we're going to upload it into Plotly Studio. So actually, let me share the whole screen so you can see how I do it with Plotly Studio. If you don't have Plotly Studio, I'm going to add it to the comment section. All you have to do is go to plotly.com/studio. Studio. Here it is. And I think you click on start for free. Yeah, and you can download. I'll just give you the downloads link. Let's go to the comment section. Download link for Plotly Studio. Now you might have to open, you will have to open eventually a cloud account in order to work with Plotly Studio. So what you would do, let me show you how to get to the cloud account. You will go to cloud. Let's go to Plotly Cloud right here in the product, Plotly Cloud. And then you just click on start for free. All right, it'll take you to this place. So I'm going to give you this cloud account email as link as well, so you can connect to Plotly Cloud. It's free. It has a free tier, so feel free to just sign up so you can actually use Plotly Studio together with me. All right, let's see, Plotly Cloud. Oh, we were just importing Plotly Cloud. Okay, now Banijas22 is asking, are we able to do with just by importing the Plotly library? Banijas, what do you mean importing the Plotly library? Oh, you mean like coding, like import plotly.express as px? Is that what you're referring to? If so, yes, you can do it in a Python IDE. It's a good question by our community member, Banijas. You can do through a Python IDE, like on VS Code or PyCharm, whichever you want, and then import Plotly Express, like we do right here. Let me show you an example. In our docs, if you go to plotly.com/Python, you'll see examples. Let's say we have a bar chart or a scatter plot. So we'll import Plotly Express. We'll import our data set. Here we import, as an example, the iris data set, but we will import, you would do PD, you'll do import pandas as PD, and then you'll do PD.readCSV, and then you can read the raw. You can just go to raw and you can read this link right here, right? And this will read the data into pandas. And once you have data, all you have to do is create the chart, scatter plot bar chart with the x-axis, y-axis, color, whatever, and then fig show. You can do that. But we're going to skip that for now. In this, we're going to use Plotly Studio to create, hopefully, like a fully fledged dashboard. So let's see how we do that. Good question, Banijas. Okay, so you have the data set. You downloaded Plotly Studio. If you're watching this video not live, but a recording of it, then just put pause and use the links I added to the comment section of YouTube. I'll add them later into LinkedIn as well. But use the links to download Studio and to open a free account on Cloud. All right, so I'm going to share screen. I'm going to unshare, and I'm going to share my whole screen. No, let's just share Plotly Studio. Share a screen, a window, and we'll share Plotly Studio. Okay, so you should be seeing Plotly Studio. We'll go to projects. I have many different projects that I created over time and plan to create in these videos. And I created a sample one just here, which we can go back to later. But we'll go into new projects, and we'll upload the CSV sheet that we downloaded from GitHub, right? Okay, now it's uploaded. We'll do next. And here, what you want to do, feel free to ask me questions in the comment section. I'll try to answer them live or after the video, and after the video as well. So let's see. Now we can give it context. Before it generates an outline, or in order to generate an outline, we can skip, or we can give it some context. So Plotly Studio will process your data and derive interesting charts. But if you have a specific aim or set of questions you would like to answer, please include them. So I recommend we just include maybe 1 or 2 questions about our data, okay? Just to give it a little bit more guidance. You don't have to. In most cases, I just click skip, okay? But I want to do this together with you if possible. So if you're already looking at the data, let's look at it. and let's see what kind of questions we can ask ourselves. We're going to look only at the Billboard data share. There we go. Here's a CSV sheet. All right. So we have artist and date of the song, number one, overall rating. So as you look at the data, what do you think, what interests you? Everybody watching us here right now, there's about 35 people. Is there anything in particular that interests you that we can have Plotly Studio create for us? Anything in the data, any correlations that you would be interested in diving into, in learning more about? Genre, style, artist. Maybe we do something with overall rating. This is the average. And we'll do overall rating, and we'll see if there's a correlation or how strong the correlation is between the overall rating column and the number of weeks this song was number one. Right? Now the correlation might not be that strong because these are just 3 judges. Let's assume they are expert judges. But weeks at number one, maybe it really depends on, right, the community, the people out there that vote for this song, I assume, to be a number one in that week. So it's not the same people necessarily judging the song. So let's see how strong this correlation is. That's one thing I think we can do. And while I type this into Plotly Studio, we can look at different, you can write me regarding different types of correlations or things you want to dig into. Top performing, I see a community member say top performing genre and styles. That's a pretty good idea. Let's see, genre and styles. Genre, CDR. What does CDR stand for? Let's look at the metadata. 1 second that I still have here. Where is my metadata? Let's see. Here. You can't see it on the screen yet, but I'm just going to take a look. Okay, CDR stands for genre as assigned by Chris Dallariva, the author of this data set. Yeah, assigned these genre and styles. All right. So let's go back to our community member who suggested that we see top performing genres and styles. Okay, let me show it right here. Top performing, thank you, Banihas, genre and styles. Let's try and do that. So we have 2 things to add to Plotly Studio. Let's go to Plotly Studio. And we want to see, please create a visualization that shows all right, Banias, thank you for joining us. I hope you can watch the recording later, and thank you for your suggestions. Top performing genre and style. That shows the top performing genre and style of songs using the, now what's the name of the columns? CDR genre and columns. What is the name of this column? Style columns. All right. We also had, let's put this as like a bullet point. Let's put another bullet point, and we'll say, another community member said, any correlation between label and week numbers. labels, and this is fun. Label, Columbia RC, the label made. Oh, we want to see who's maybe the more successful label. Is it MGM? Which label make the best or pay for as a sponsor the best songs? Okay, so let's do that. Good idea. Is there a correlation? Let's make this a question. What are the top performing genre styles of songs using make another question here. Is there a correlation between the label column? Let's make sure I spell that correctly. Label, label, and the weeks at number 1. Okay, now let's ask one more question. What's the correlation between overall rating? Let's do the same thing here. It's very similar. Is there a correlation between overall rating? Did I spell that correctly? Overall rating, uppercase, overall rating column, and the weeks at number 1 column. Okay, perfect. So we have 3 questions. Of course, we can ask many more questions here because it's a very wide data set with a lot of columns, but we'll stick to these for now. And we'll say done. This is going to generate the outline. This usually takes 30 seconds to 60 seconds, depending on how big the data set is, if it needs to clean anything in the data set. So let's see what it tells us. Thank you all for joining us. Let's see if I see anybody else here. Oh, nice. We have 15 more people, almost 50 people. As a reminder, if you just joined us, we are using Plotly Studio. I put the links in the comment section to download Plotly Studio and to open your free Plotly Cloud account so you can actually get started. If you don't have that link because you just joined, just go to plotly.com and you can find Studio and Cloud in the main page or in the header. All right. So we have 5 different suggested charts. This is the outline of the app that Plotly Studio is going to create. Right? Let's actually, let's do this. So this is going to be the title: Music Chart Analysis Data App. I don't want to say data app. I wanted to say Music Chart Analysis of the, what was the name of the data set? Billboard Hot 100. I'll just say of the Hot 100 songs. Okay. Capital S. This is going to be the description below. Let's leave it as that. And it's going to do 5 charts for us. It's going to look at top performing music genres as a bar chart with drop down to select the performance metric that we want to see by weeks at number 1, overall rating, multiple select for SDR genre. All right. Music style distributions, a horizontal. Now, if you see anything here that you want to modify, let me know, because we can modify this. We can change anything we want. Maybe we don't want a scatter plot. Maybe we want a bubble chart. Maybe we don't want a drop down. We want a checklist, right? Anything we want, we can change. So feel free to add this in the comment section of LinkedIn, X, or YouTube. And then I can change this. There might be like a 5-second lag live streaming. So I'll wait a few seconds. But yeah, you tell me this is completely interactive. So whatever you want, I'll try and do based on I can also remove charts, right? Correlation between overall rating and week number 1. This is one of the questions I asked. As a scatter plot with color code, genre, drop down to trend for trend line. Oh yeah, we want the trend line. That's good. Artist, genre, composition is a stack bar. We haven't asked this question, so Plotly Studio thought this would be a pretty interesting chart to look at. Multi-select for artist and drop down to normalize data, percentage or count. Okay. And then we have global filters. These are going to be the controls at the very top, right? Let me see if, 1 second. Okay. Weak sat number 1, range input. I'll range from 1 to 9, like a slider from 1 to 19, because the top performing song was the maximum was 19 weeks. So we can choose to limit the data to only songs that have been really famous, right? On the top of the chart for like 15 to 19 weeks in a row. So this is a good control to have. Record label multiple drop down to see what if we want to filter the record labels. Overall rating from 1 to 10. I doubt somebody has an average of 10 rating, but it's good to know. And that's it. And here's some music. And this is this theme: vibrant gradient color palette reflecting musical diversity, modern sans serif typography, and dynamic visual transitions. All right. So sounds pretty interesting. Let's generate the application. Let me see if anybody wrote something they want to change. Nobody wants to modify anything. Everybody seems happy with what Plotly Studio suggested. So let's do it. Generate application. Okay. So this will take about 2 minutes. Sometimes it take even 1 minute or less. It doesn't have too many charts, but you see it's building the charts here. It's building the charts. It's building the data table so we can see everything in a table. It's building the data cards and the filter components. The layout and everything it needs to build in a modular format. So we can go into each and every one of these and actually edit it if we are not happy with what Plotly Studio gives us. So I just finished doing the rating versus chart performance. It has 3 more charts to work on. And I think you can even go in there and look at the charts while it's building it. And you can see here, restart. I don't want to restart. 47 seconds, 48 seconds. 4 charts have been built. It's only missing the data table and the top performing music genre, which I think was a bar chart. We can cancel. I don't want to do that. We can look at the logs. If you get stuck, if it's broken, if something happens, you get errors, definitely look at the logs. And then you can always go here and say feedback or support, right? The support, I don't think you can see this because I'm not sharing that. No, it's not the support. Plotly, let me see, Plotly Studio. You can ask the community if you have any questions, documentation as well. And we can do feedback. Yeah, in feedback, you can submit a request. You can't see this because I'm not sharing the feedback screen, but you can submit a request if you click on this feedback thingamajiggy. And you get stuck because something happens, I don't know, then you can always ask the question and also give him the logs. Try to generate the logs and share the logs. Let's see, generation logs. Okay. So you can maybe copy everything here, put it on a .txt file, and share these logs with a team, with your support if you're opening a ticket and you ask a question. Okay, so let's close this so we have a little bit more space. The sidebar, make this a little bit bigger. All right, so we have our Plotly chart. Yay. Let's take a look. Our Plotly app. Music chart analysis of the Hot 100 songs. Remember we asked it to update the title? Well, it did it. And here's our description. Exploring trends. Created by Plotly Studio today, 4th. And then we have our controls. Remember, we had a control. We had one of them was a slider or a range. In this case, it's just 2 input fields from 1 to 19. So we can say 15 to 19 if I only want to see the top ones, or maybe the least performing ones, 1 to, and it should change. So 1, 2, 3, and look how it will change. See the total songs, 869. But if we do only those who are like really, really good, like 15 to 19, only 6 songs were number 1 for 15 to 19 weeks in a row. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so 1 to 19. 1 second. Let's see here if I missed anything. Okay, let me close the controls for now. Hide this because I don't want to. I don't want to limit the data. I want to see everything. Record label all, style all, draw. I can play with separate controls, individual controls in each card. So I love how Plotly Studio puts everything in like 100% width so we can see everything that we build. This is a horizontal bar chart, another horizontal bar chart. This is a scatter plot. And this is another scatter plot. Now this is not telling us a lot. We'll get to these soon, and we'll ask Plotly Studio to maybe update things. Okay, so we have 5 charts, and we have a table if we want to look into it, if we want to see everything in a tabular format. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so let's see the first chart. Weeks. So this chart has the x-axis total weeks at number 1, right? By genre. One of our community members wanted to see that. So seems like the funk or soul genre has total weeks at number 1. If we take all the songs, the total songs that were number 1 in weeks were 744, as you can see by the hover. 744. See right here. With the average being about 3 weeks. Now here, the average is 4 weeks, but the total amount of songs is 402. So this is interesting because it could just be that not necessarily soul or funk are better because there's more weeks. It could be that more songs tend to fall in the category of funk and soul. So if you have more songs, let's say 5 times or 10 times more songs that fall in this category in the last 70 years, then inevitably, even if the average amount of rating is the same as hip hop, you're just going to have more weeks, more songs in total weeks is going to be higher because there's just more songs. So maybe we don't do weeks at number 1, we'll do overall rating. And now we'll see the overall rating, or the average for songs is Calypso. Well, there's only one song there that reached a lot of a few weeks number 1, and so this is not fair either. This one overall rating is 6.83. 6.83, jazz, hip hop, and so on and so on. Pretty cool to see all this. And here, all the songs are here. We can limit this. We can see the weeks at number 1. What do people think about this graph? Would you like to change it in any way? Is there anything you want to, if there's anything you want to do differently, if you want me to change the drop down, if you want me to change the y-axis or the x-axis, let me know. For now, we'll just do something, one specific edit, so you can see how to edit graphs in Plotly Studio. So we're going to say, let's say that I don't necessarily care about weeks at number 1. I don't want this drop down. I just want overall rating, right? So let's go to edit. And this is the outline to actually create this graph. So we're going to say top performing music genres is a bar chart with drop down to select performance metrics. With multiple select. Okay, so instead of this drop down, we'll say top performing music genre is a bar chart. With we'll say with performance metrics, with the performance metric being weeks at number 1. Maybe I don't care about overall rating. Let's do that. Let's remove overall rating, just as an example. With multi-select for, okay. So I'm going to remove that drop down. Let's see if we did this correctly. If we get the same graph, but without that drop down. Okay, it's still building it. Still building, still building. All right, perfect. Let's see what we have. Let's go into, it's still building the specification. These are like the breakdown of how it's going to build, how he built the chart and actually created the code that built the chart. All of this code you can actually update as well if you know what you're doing with the code. Let's go back to the app summary. All right, top performing music genres. We select the genres and we see the total number at number 1. So we have pop, total number 1010. Then we have folk, funk, soul, 744, then rock, and then hip hop, and so on and so on. Polka, blues. You see, so that's how we can edit. You can also go here and you can edit this way. Right here, top performing, and it'll take you to this card and you can edit it. Okay. All right, let's go back. All right, let's look at our second chart. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, or any comments or suggestions. Happy to try to change things. Incorporate your comments. Okay, music style distribution by rating. So we'll look at another bar chart with overall rating. I guess it would be the average with the music style. Our community member wanted to see this graph. So soul seems to have, generally speaking, they all have more or less the same amount of songs, 40 songs, 33, 40, 54, 48. 76. So R&B is a lot more, and pop rock are a lot more famous. But the overall rating is the average, right? So soul tends to have the highest overall rating, 7.34. And then Motown, and then disco, and then rock and roll. Interesting. I would have thought R&B and maybe hip hop, but more R&B would be the top. So this is average rating. We can see it also by median rating instead of the average. Let's see if it changed anything. Yeah, a little bit. Motown goes up a little bit. Now, median is good if we see that there is a lot of outliers in the overall rating, right? I don't think there should be a lot of outliers between 1 to 10, but let's see. Let's go to Motown. Because Motown and soul, look, they change places according to median or average. So let's look at Motown. Let's see if Motown is very, very different. We're going to go into, was it genre, I think? Motown. What is it called? Motown. Music style. Music style. Motown. Okay. Okay, now we only have Motowns. We have 35 songs here. And we'll see the overall rating. Maybe we'll do it like this. So it starts from 3 and all the way to 10. So median will not be appropriate to use here for these genres, for this style, because there's not really a big outlier. 3, 10. Wow, my girl has 10 for overall rating. That's really good. I Want You Back, the Jackson 5. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, not necessarily needed for median here. We don't necessarily need to. An average rating, at least for Motown, will be the more correct, statistically the more correct average to use here, the mean average. All right, I will kind of like this graph. I don't think I want to change anything. So I'm going to leave this graph the way it is. Thank you. Oh, and well, we have already 60 people watching. That's great. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, let's skip this one for now and let's look at this one. This is a scatter plot showing the relationship between overall rating and weeks at number 1. So is there a correlation between the general rating of a song from 1 to 10 and the weeks at number 1? The thing is, it gave us this breakdown of genres, and it's, for me, it's too much. It's like way too many colors in this legend. So what I'm going to do is I want to limit Is it genres? Maybe we can limit the genres. Or let's see. First, I want to see the linear OLS, see if there's any difference there. Interesting, not working with this. So this could be something we need to fix. Now let's try and do it with, oh, this one has a lot of drop downs. Okay, let's try and, oh, there we go. All right, because it did a linear OLS for each genre. So see, this one is actually, which one is this one? Pop? Is it, or is it other? I double click. Folks. Maybe it's electronic dance. Which one is it, that color? Oh, maybe it's jazz. Jazz, okay. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs, but the correlation seems to be the strong with the jazz. So these lines kind of help us understand the correlation. Or we can choose, I've never done this before, so I'm not sure what this is. Okay, so if we do none, we don't need a trend line. What we're seeing here is just a lot of colors on the legend. So I personally don't like this. Like, I don't necessarily want to see, it's hard to distinguish between the colors. Look, I can't pop, 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 pop. Soul, I can't see the difference in color between pop and soul. I actually have to hover over it to try to distinguish the song genre. So let's just remove the genre and see what happens. We'll go to edit, and we'll see correlation between overall rating and weeks at number 1 as a scatter plot, and without a drop down. Let's see what we get there. Okay, well, it's building it. All right. See, it's building the specification based on this prompt. It's going to build the code based on this specification, right? The specs, and we have a preview. Hey, but it still gave us a legend. Oh, we didn't necessarily tell it to remove the legend. So we'll say correlation between overall rating and weeks at number 1. Without, maybe instead of genre, we choose something else. Let's see, here's our data set. Correlation between weeks at number 1. Even if we didn't have color, when let's say you remove color, everything here is let's say black. You see, there's not really a strong correlation. Let's make this a little bit bigger. It seems like there's not really a strong correlation here. It doesn't go up that much from just looking at this. So I don't know if even I want this kind of chart, because it's clear to me the correlation doesn't exist. Now, there might be correlation in the, maybe we can have a drop down. I'm not really too excited about this chart, but we'll try this. Add a drop down that allows us to choose the CDR genre. The default genre chosen will be let's put folk country. Okay, what I'm doing is I only want to see one at a time, because it's just too much to see all the genres at once. Let's see what happens there. And if we're happy with that, we'll leave it. If we're not happy, we'll just remove the whole chart. Delete it. Throw it away. Trash bin. All right, let's see. If you're watching this as a recording and you still have ideas, because you're building it with Plotly Studio and it came up with a chart that's absolutely magnificent and is even more interesting than the charts you saw here, or just different charts which tell us a different story, please add the prompt in the comment section. All right, cool. So it looks like it did it. Let's go to music chart analysis. Let's close this. There we go. So folk country, we see maybe a little bit of a correlation. Let's go to electronic Latin dance. Only one song, so that doesn't do anything. Full soul pop. Here's only one song, because there is a song that seems to have had two genres tied to it. Let's look at pop. No correlation in pop. So this could be an interesting graph because it allows us to see genres one by one. So it's less overwhelming. Rock doesn't have any correlation, and so on and so on. All right, let's look at this last one. Where is it? Where's this last one? Okay. Artist, genre, composition. So here we have that we selected the artist, and there could be like a lot of artists, right, over the last 65 years or so, 67. We can see by count or by percentage. Count, let's see. So the artist had one song, genre, composition. 50 Cent had one song in the top 100. I thought, interesting, I thought they had more percentage. Alicia Keys, 2 songs in the top 100. We can always go here and see, okay, Alicia Keys. We can go to the data to make sure this data is correct. Artist, Alicia Keys. So Fallen, and it didn't include Alicia Keys songs if she does it with sang it with other or wrote the song with other artists. It only included these two, Falling and No One, which was 6 weeks at number 1, at 5 weeks number 1. These 2 songs right here. Let's make sure 50 Cent. 50 Cent. 50 Cent. The data is correct. 50 Cent. All right, 50 Cent only has one song, which supposedly only he wrote or sang. So it's correct. 50 Cent right here, one song. Let's look at artists by weeks at number 1. Okay. I want to see if there's any artists that have more songs. Adele. Oh, look at Adele. Let's choose Adele here. Seems to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I love Adele. Let's choose Adele. There we go. Here now we see that Adele has actually 5 songs, and it gives us a breakdown. Hip hop, no, not hip hop. Funk soul is 1. Unknown, I guess there's no genre there, is 1, and then pop is the other one. Now it's unknown because Chris, who built this data set, didn't add here, right here, didn't add a style or a genre to this. Or maybe he did, and Poly Studio removed it. I doubt it, but we can always go back to the data set and look it up. Okay, folks. So these are the 5 charts that Plotly Studio created. Remember, you can always and should always verify the data, look at the data table, see if everything actually makes sense, make sure the data is still clean and filtered correctly. You can always delete graphs. Like we didn't go over this graph, but let's say this one right here, but let's say we don't like it. We can just, this is the record label performance, go here, rating and chart, right? Rating, record label performance, this one. So we can just delete it. Are you sure you want to delete record label performance? This action cannot be undone. Yes, 100% sure. And now we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 charts. Cool, huh? All right, so I'm gonna publish this, generating app components. Oh, why is this still generating? Well, once I finish this, oh, it's generating the layout here. I wonder why it's still generating the layout. There we go, done. I guess because I removed a graph, a card, it had to regenerate the whole layout, which took about 15 seconds. So now that we have our graph, we're going to go publish our app, sorry, and we're going to put this on the cloud. Now it's going to take 1 to 5 minutes. So I don't want to waste your time just looking at a screen. What I'm going to do once it loads to Plotly Cloud, I'm going to make the app public, shareable, and I will put it on, I'll generate the link, and I'll put it on in the description under the video in LinkedIn, YouTube, X, so you can actually interact with the app. You can play around with it, and you can offer more comments and tell me how you would do it differently, or what you would add or remove. Oh wow, we have already 70 people watching. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'll add the app link, take a look at it, comment, build your own apps on top of this, and join Figure Friday Week 44. As a reminder, this data set is from Figure Friday. So let's go to Figure Friday. I think it's this one. One second, let me take a look where. Yeah, it's that one. I'm sharing the screen. Come to Figure Friday, week 44. Just plug in Figure Friday, week 44, and of 2025, and submit your application. Right. And last week we got a few applications submitted. Week 43. Esther, Mike built this application with regular dash, and then Alex built this application. This was a pretty marvelous application right here on the cloud as well. All right, so I hope to see your graphs. I hope to see what you come up with, and I hope to see you also on this Friday. And this Friday at noon Eastern time, we'll have the Figure Friday session to review everything that we built and to give feedback to each other. And we'll try to do this again next Tuesday. All right, everybody. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.